Today we're taking a look at these NCAAF matches, which are happening on Saturday, September 11, 2021, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. 5 plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 270 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting advice that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks and advice. South Carolina vs East Carolina. This South Carolina Gamecocks defense played extraordinarily well last week as they pitched a shutout against the Panthers. They only allowed Eastern Illinois to possess the football for 25-20 and held them to 109 total yards. Getting third down stops are critical, and the Panthers were 0 for 9 during the game. The Gamecocks also had a pair of interceptions, so this game will definitely instill some confidence in the program. Holton Ahlers completed 22 of 40 passes for 295 yards with 2 touchdowns and 1 interception in the contest. He ran the ball 12 times for just 14 yards. In the run game, Keaton Mitchell led the team with 4 carries for 50 yards, while Rajai Harris contributed 8 carries for 22 yards in the contest. Mitchell led the team in the passing game with 5 catches for 79 yards and a score. Harris, 56 yards, and Tyler Snead, 27 yards, each added 4 catches, while Psy Hatfield, 51 yards, and CJ Johnson, 24 yards, both had 3 grabs. Ryan Jones, 1 catch, 38 yards, had the other touchdown reception for the Pirates. Owen Daffer was 1 of 2 on extra points, while he connected on both his field goal attempts as he hit from 39 and 38 yards in the contest. East Carolina struggled to sustain drives, going 5 of 16 when it came to converting third downs in the game. My first betting advice is to pick South Carolina Gamecocks minus 1.5. The East Carolina Panthers defense was not good in their opening game of the season against the Appalachian State Mountaineers. They allowed 33 points and 485 total yards, 259 passing yards, 226 rushing yards, and the Mountaineers are not a top-tier offensive team. The Panthers did force a pair of turnovers, an interception and a fumble recovery, so they need to focus on the defensive side of the game if they are wanting to take control of their year. Jason Brown was 4 of 5 for 45 yards, while Colton Gauthier completed his lone pass for 19 yards. On the ground, Zaquander White led the team with 12 carries for 128 yards plus a score. Marshawn Lloyd, 14 carries, 55 yards, and Juju McDowell, 12 carries, 46 yards, also saw their fair share of action in the run game. My betting advice is to pick under. Pittsburgh vs Tennessee. This Pittsburgh Panthers defense played well in their opening game against the not-so-tough competition in the UMass Minutemen. They allowed just 7 points and that was in garbage time. Things will get interesting on Saturday against a Panthers team that actually plays good defense. The Vols ran the ball down Bowling Green's throat, but Pittsburgh had a top 15 rushing defense in the country last season. They're going to put up a fight along the defensive front and potentially force the ball into third and long situations. The Panthers allowed 209 total yards of offense, 169 passing yards, 42 rushing yards, and the run defense was the better half as they only allowed 1.6 rushing yards per carry. If they can continue to stop running backs at a solid outing, this will be a big year for the Panthers defense. Perhaps the only saving grace is the fact that the Vols can sniff out the run as well. They were a top 10 run-stuffing defense in 2020. However, they'll run into a Panthers team with a veteran quarterback capable of pushing the ball downfield with his arm. Kenny Pickett threw nearly twice as many passing yards as Milton last week. My first betting advice is to pick Pittsburgh Panthers. The Tennessee Volunteers played solid on the defensive side of the field in their season opener. They were dominant against the run as they allowed 32 rushing yards on 23 attempts, 1.4 yards per carry. They weren't great against the pass, but if you are limiting the opposing quarterback to 4.9 yards per pass then you aren't going to get beat through the air often. The defense was unable to find a way to force a turnover, but this Tennessee defense was leaps and bounds better than the Bowling Green offense, so it will be interesting to see them against a more equal adversary. My second betting advice is to pick under 55. Quick reminder, you can get 125% cash back bonus on your first deposit on our partner sportsbook BetUS after you open an account using our link down below and use our promo code HIGHSTAKES when making your deposit. Oregon vs Ohio State. On the defensive side of the ball, the Ducks hope star pass rusher Kayvon Thibodeaux can be ready for the game as he is day-to-day with an ankle injury, but is one of the best players in college football and registered a sack and fumble in the opening game. Otherwise, the defense will turn to freshman linebacker Justin Flo, who led the defense with 14 tackles in the first game and looks to be a valuable player in the middle over the course of the season, while defensive backs Verron McKinley III and Michael Wright look to eliminate big plays as the duo combined for 14 tackles in the opening game of the season. After going 1-3 against the spread over its last 4 games of the shortened 2020 season, Oregon didn't come close to covering last week against Fresno State. The game also went under the betting total of 62.5 points, making it a run of 4 straight unders for the Ducks. My first betting advice is to pick Ohio State minus 13.5. My second betting advice is to pick over 63.5. Florida vs South Florida. Coach Mullen told the Associated Press after the game that Jones has a better grasp of the entire offense right now and will keep his job. Florida's defense, which was gouged for 30.8 points a game last season, looked like it would notch the program's first shutout since beating Vanderbilt 56-0 in 2019. But the Gators gave up a touchdown with 4:27 remaining and another in the closing minutes of the opener for both teams. It remains to be seen who will be behind center for the Gators in this game, but Coach Mullen has reaffirmed Jones as the starter. It will be another long game for the Bulls if they can't get their run defense fixed, as the Gators ran for 400 yards in their opener. We also note that Florida has a huge game at home against Alabama on deck, and that will distract them in this one. The Bulls will not come close to winning this game, but they will also not lose by more than 24 points. My first betting advice is to pick South Florida plus 28.5. Jones was far from sharp, finishing with a touchdown and 2 interceptions in his first career start, but the fourth-year junior had some moments to build on moving forward. He did much of his damage with his legs, finishing with 74 of the team's 400 yards rushing. Richardson looked more ready for the spotlight. He ran 7 times for 160 yards, including a 73-yard score late in the game and an 11-yarder in which he broke 3 tackles and hurdled another defender. He missed his final 5 passes and finished 3 for 8 for 40 yards. My second betting advice is to pick over 58. Good luck to all of you. That's it for this video. Stay tuned and stay safe for the next betting tips and advice.